Alright, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Moore coming to you again. Out in the highway and byway, bringing out this gospel of truth to edify the hopefully elect of Yahshua, the Israel, so-called blacks, the Americans, Latinos. To warn the 2/3 of our people of the impending judgment that's coming to great Babylon in America. To edify the 1/3 elect that would hear and forbear these true prophecies that's proven to be true. It's always a pleasure to let Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, know that your end is near. Before we get started, send this love going on to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Dash. Come on us and teach us how to listen to parts of a great millstone like lies about the spirit of the truth. 50 fearlessly feed the sheep of the brothers and sisters. All right, another day, another camp, out in the highway and the byway. Okay, try to edify and warn these hard-headed Hebrew Israelites, the so-called blacks, the Americans, and Latinos, who are in this laxy-daisy spirit of mirth, assuming that their lives are going to continue to go on. But if the headlines isn't proving to you that the devil is after you, then what else is going to prove it, okay? But we have a job to do. This is the book of Psalms 139, Psalm verse 21, and it reads, "Do not I hate them, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to hate thee, and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee." Let's stop there for a second, because the thing about it is that what people are looking for as far as to go out in the highway and the byway and teach about love, togetherness, coming together as one. Okay, let's get along with everybody. Well, haven't you Jakes tried that with those marches? What became of those marches from the 60s? What became of those marches from the 60s? What became of those marches from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s? What became of those? What became of those marches where you try to reason with your enemy, okay, to stop killing you, stop murdering you, to give you a fair opportunity, okay, in the world? And we're telling you that biblically this is actually supposed to happen to us. You people don't want us to come out and tell you that the Lord of the Bible is a so-called black man, that he has a dark hue like the brother used to stand up right here. You want to believe, okay, in that pasty pestilence, the world ignorantly worship who they call Jesus. Okay? You want us to tell you to go embrace your enemy. Well, guess what? You hate Yahushua. You 2/3, okay? Those of you who are numbered to the 2/3, okay? And the Lord Yahweh Shemashai knows who you are. You, okay, are a part of this group that is hated. It says, "Do not I hate them, O Lord Yahweh Shemashai, to hate thee, and am not I grieve at those that rise up against thee." When you don't listen, okay, to what's being preached, when you don't follow, let's say, for example, the Sabbath, you don't follow the laws, you don't follow anything. Okay, the only thing you Jakes are fearful of is you're fearful of that doggone red lobster-looking monkey-ass motherfucker that stands out, that can't even stand out in the sun for 20 minutes. And we're telling you, he's not the one to be fear. Okay, there's one greater than there's one greater than him. There's two greater than him. There's Yahushua that's greater than him. The Most High Yahweh Shemashai that's greater than him. You would fear them. Okay. It says, "I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies." Okay? So you're the enemies. You 2/3 are the enemies of Yahshua. You're traitors. You're spineless, weak betrayers. You don't stand up for anything. Okay? Now we don't even put the doggone Edomites in this scenario, because bottom line is that they don't have any room for repentance. The Lord Yahweh Shemashai don't like them. They were chosen as a tribe that's going to be the bad guys, the tribe that is created to be destroyed. Okay, they don't have no choice in the matter. Just like we didn't have a choice in the matter of being brought over here into slavery. Now I got a message on a video I put up a couple days ago, and a question was asked: aren't we in Jacob's trouble already, or haven't we completed Jacob's trouble? When they talk about Black Wall Street, and also mentioned about going into slavery. So I responded back, and I'm gonna go into a 2-part lesson on that, because it would take a little while to answer it, and I'm not gonna do it today. But no, we have Jacob trouble is a specific events, or specific events that's going to be taking place. Basically, it's already started, but it's going to accumulate it. It's going to be cumulative, okay, into the elect being saved out of it and being delivered, okay, and consequently the destruction of Great Babylon America. So we have not gone through that because Great Babylon America is still functioning. Okay, the elect has not been delivered. There's many scriptures that will tell you that would give the characteristics of what the elect would look like. Because during the time of the judgments that's going to be taking place, especially against Yasharala, so-called Black Americans and Latinos, okay, there's going to be a specific set of men that are going to, be exempt from judgment. When I say men, I'm talking about men, women, and children. They're going to be exempt from judgment. So it's not going to be, we're not in that time yet. Now I'll go into that, even though other elders are going into that. But again, this is a labor of love. A labor of love is working for the Mashiach, doing as he commanded, which is to go out there and make your body, a living sacrifice. So as you can see right now, it's extremely hot. It's about 97 degrees out there. People are driving around there, whatever the hell they're doing, going about their business, whatever the case is like that. And as always, I'm a sight out here on this particular road, which is very busy, for them to just, snap their photos or oh, well, there's that street preacher that's out there. But they don't take into consideration what we're talking about, because they want to be entertained. They don't look at what is actually being spoken out here on the highway in the byway. Let's go into the book of Matthew 10. Let's talk about these guys that are putting the plow down. Okay, let's talk about these guys that are putting the plow down. Because yes, we are getting to that tough time. You might have to choose your words a little bit more carefully. Okay, but you then worm out. If you're speaking boldly all the while, why all of a sudden now you're in a whisper and tune it down? All of a sudden now that we see on the horizon, they might grab some of us and decapitate us. So I always question guys like that. I don't care who the hell you are like that, because it's like, if you've been speaking loud all the while, why now you want to talk you in a whisper? Is there fair? I mean, to each his own, but I'm just, let's talk about looking back. Certain characters that are going to be looking back, because talk is cheap, and we're all going to get tested. We all got a big mouth, okay, where you can eat and sleep, and nobody's shooting a bullet at your doggone head or putting a knife in your throat, or rolling up on you. Matthew 10. Psalm verse 32 and it reads, red letter, it says, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. So you have to know the name. You can't come out and go and keep and preach and you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and then using the terminology Jesus and God, all these sweet words so you can't offend your enemy. Do you really believe I give a crop ass or rat's ass or what the double so-called white man thinks or what Jakes think about me? No, I never did. Never will. Okay, we stand firmly in this word. It's Yahweh Shai. He's our Savior. He's the Redeemer. God, Yahweh. Okay? Self-existent. He's eternal. The Most High. So those are names that we have to bring out when we bring out the Yasharala. Not doggone Jesus, man. Okay? He says, so you get guys that don't want to confess. They don't want to tell the real name. The first thing we do is we let you know the real name. Why? You have to know the ancient Paleo-Hebrew name, because it's going to be important in the day, okay, of distress and tribulation, and what name you're going to be calling. Okay, we're the wife of the bride of Yahweh Shai. So you, Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai. So guess what? You don't want to be calling on some other false deity out there that doesn't exist. That's only on the doggone printed out, okay, because it was part of some Renaissance period, okay, this prideful, wicked ass devil. It says, for whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. So when you listen to that, or you read that, what does that tell you? That's telling you that there's an intersection that we can't go directly to the Father himself and preach. We can't go directly to the Father himself and speak on our behalf. We're not worthy of it. So that's the one that has to represent us. So Yahweh Shai is the one that represents us. He's the one that represents. He's the one that's going to... The Most High sees everything. He sees everything we do. Whether you're doing it out here in the open or whether you're doing it behind closed door, the Most High sees everything. Okay? So Yahweh Shai has to be the one. Okay, that has to go to the Most High and say, okay, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is not mine, and so forth and so forth. It says, think not I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace with a sword. So we ain't coming to send no, we ain't coming to handle candies. And this is why you have the earth not in fear. And this is why Jake is not in fear. Because if you believe the philosophy, okay, of your doggone oppressor who's putting a picture of a doggone hippie looking, doggone sissified looking, doggone demonic pale faced doggone demon in front of you called Jesus Christ, okay? And then he has his movies with him speaking softly and he's so loving and all that shit like that, then what would you fear? What would you fear? But see, we put in your head an angry, big, angry, powerful black man that's going to return. People don't like that. Because at the end of the day, people are scared of the big angry black man. I mean, let's face it. You are. Alright? You don't like it. That's why Esau go through a whole lot of go through all kinds of stuff. He'll pay Jason to bend over and take it up the ass. He'll get Jason to go do something called a red dress run out there in New Orleans, which is like, wow. I saw a video that one brother put up and I'm going, you gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Any excuse for these faggots to come out. Okay, Esau has it set up. And that's why it's called spiritual Sodom in Egypt, man. Alright? He said, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So you got division in the household and the family. So you ain't gonna be able to get along with anybody, okay? In fact, that's already happening right now. That's happening with some of us right now, man, where you don't have no connection with your relatives. You don't have no connection with your so-called dad or your so-called mom. Okay? You don't have no connection. And you think about it and you realize that if you was to interact with these people, it is going to bring problems into your life. Headaches. They don't add no value. I'm not saying being disrespectful to your so-called mom and dad, but I'm just saying if they're going to create problems, then no. Don't bring that problem in, man. The job of the prophets is to go there and preach and do this work. Anything that's going to distract you from that is a no-go. Why do you think brothers right now, are not having multiple girlfriends or multiple wives or stuff like that? Because that's going to be a distraction, man. You're not going to be in the mood to go on the highway and the byway and do lessons when you laying down in bed with a couple of beautiful women, man. Come on. Okay? Or you have a great connection with your relatives and the barbecues and, you feel a lot of love from them and all that stuff. That could put you in a complacent mode. So some of us, have a judgment on us in which we have no connection with our relatives whatsoever, so we don't get to have the barbecue, the party, and the feeling of love, or people you can count on. We've always had a division in your life with you and your family. All right, and that's a good thing when you look at it right now, because now you can focus, on what you're supposed to focus on. It says, and a man's foe should be of his own household, so you can't trust your own household. You can't even trust your own household. You gotta be prepared for the fact that your woman might turn on you, your kids might turn on you. Okay, definitely, people who are not exactly your besties or friends or whatever kids are, or who don't have your best interest, they're definitely gonna turn on your ass. Okay, so you gotta constantly be in that mindset of you're on your own for the most part. You're on your own. You have to count on Yahweh Shai Shai, pretty much. And in the flesh, the spirit. It's just going to be you. All right. right, let's go into the book of Ecclesiastes 13, Psalm 6. Because we've told you about Esau, man. Okay, so what you got this, while I'm looking for this, you got this thing, what's that cat? What's his name there? You got Charlie Brown, okay? Charlie Brown, you know, what happened 2 weeks ago with Charlie Brown. You know, that's still in the news and stuff like that. Hey, listen up, man. We Edomites want to get down to business with each other, so divided, and you want to jack your own, you want to jack up what's left of your own nation or your own kingdom. Or with Charlie Brown, go ahead. We're gonna watch and laugh. I know I'm gonna laugh at your ass. Okay. I mean, this man is trying to stir up the pot. Okay. Any way he can. But the fact is that there's a timeline that Yahweh Shemyan Shai has of when things are gonna happen. You think about it, see, Esau wants it on his turn when you have civil war, civil unrest. Okay, the mark of the beast. What else? The famine. You know, martial law. He wants to have it on his own time. The problem with that, it's not going to be in his own time. It's going to be in the time of Yahweh Shemyan Shai. People never seen, you've never seen a Jake before? I think how people like look at you like that, but then there's some flyers out there with some scriptures on it like that. That should distract them a little bit. You know, 'cause they stare at you like that. Then again, people never really seen a king out here anyway. So this is Ecclesiastes 13. It's down verse 6. Let's go into this. 13 down verse 6, and let's talk about the backstabbing of this doggone man, this damn devil. Yeah, and there is a sign out here with these kikes calling them wicked. And I've held a sign up more than enough time for all you people and wave it in front of your damn faces. Okay, so what? Huh? So what? So what? All right, you don't like someone talking about your doggone your enemy? Because those are your enemy. They're the one throwing you up in the damn 5,000 space. What do you call it there? I call it dog kennel. They call it internment camps, or the migrants holding camp out there in El Paso. What's up? All right. It says, if ye have a need of thee, if Esau have a need of you, niggas, spits, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair, and say, what one is thou? Which all Jake really want from this man is love. All they want is the undying love of Esau. They really, Jakes cannot do without the love of Esau. They cannot. I mean, you wanna see a Jake face light up? Let a doggone goofy ass doggone Edomite walk up and give them a hug and tell them it's gonna be okay and all that stuff, and their face will light right up. But when we say it, it's not good enough. Okay, who are you doggone Negroes? Well, you'll find the hell out, okay? It says, and he shall shame thee by his meat until he have drawn thee dry twice, and at the last he will laugh at thee, will scorn thee after. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. I mean, we can name all the brothers that have been screwed over by this man. Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown. Oh, it goes on and on and on and on and on. So the biggest thing is never envy your oppressor. If you envy your oppressor, you're right in his snare. You're right in his net. Because he's using all his riches and wealth and saying, you know what, I can give this to you. Hey, keep in mind that damn devil, the devil, went and tempted Yahweh Shai. Okay? Went and tempted him and say, man, look, went at him at his weakest point, you know, after you get already fasted. Okay? And offer him the world to bow down to worship him. Or had him to try attempt the Most High by, you know, attempting to commit suicide. Nah, dude. The Lord is going to deliver us. No, we can't tempt him. You can't tempt him, man. You gotta really think of things. You know, are you tempting the Lord when you're doing certain things? You know. And every walk in this life is dangerous. Even eating is dangerous. I mean, seriously, that's why you got to pray over your food. It says, beware that thou be not deceived and brought down to jollity, man. You know, when I used to live out in New England, decades, and I mean decades, multiple decades ago, as a young man, You know, some of the happiest time I had was when I used to hang around Edomites. They had it all, man. They could do the fun. They had the rock music. They had the things going for them. And really, there wasn't nobody else. There wasn't much Jakes up there. In fact, I didn't used to see Jakes on weeks at a time. And when we did see each other, we used to crack joke and go, okay, so which we used to laugh because we already know we were the token niggas for freaking double on these Edomites. So we used to talk about it. That's how few of us was up there. And when I say few, I mean few. Okay? So it was almost strange to actually see another dark-skinned person up here. But some of the happiest fun time I had was with these Edomites. And it's because I tried to integrate with them. I tried to really be one of them. I really did. I tried my best to be one of them. Because I didn't really have a choice but to follow their culture, because I didn't have one. Okay? So it gives you that warning not to get caught up in all of that craziness. Let's go into Hebrews 13:9. Let's talk about these false teachers and the doctrines that they would use like that. Because if you have IUIC telling Jakes them, which is why you have a Jake when I ask the question, well, weren't we in Jacob's trouble during slavery, or during the what do you call it, the Black Wall Street burning down, which you can go to Deuteronomy 28 and that'll tell you about the Black Wall Street, why that happened. Okay, along with slavery. Okay, and he mentioned a couple of things. Like I said, I'll do a 2-part lesson, Lord willing, this week on to answer it to the best of my ability using the scriptures, and then some other media, if possible. Okay, because I don't know why today Jason stood up and be convinced that we have a time of trouble that is going to be unlike any before. Come on up, man. Like the dude is driving down, freaking doggone, filming me in his car from there. So it's like these people, like I say, Jake, like I say, what the fuck? Get off of me, man. So like I say, you get these guys, you get people driving around the back, pulling out their phone and filming. Because again, that's part of being made that mockery out there on the highway. Is that people will look at you and they think that you're like in year-round Halloween costume, and that's what they look at these garments as. And little do they know until it's too late, because when the bullets start flying, you start starving, animals start tearing your ass to pieces, and you all start turning on each other. Don't look around for us. We're not gonna answer questions. I'm not gonna be around for you. I don't want to be around for you. I don't want to be around for you. All right, Hebrews 13:9, and it reads, "Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein." So it is a complete and utter waste of time, absolute waste of time, okay, to go follow IUIC and the rest of these camps that are not going to give you the name, okay, of the Most High and the Son. That is not going to tell you about Jacob's trouble of a time, okay, that is so horrible that angels have to be dispatched to save us, and only 1/3 is going to make it out by means of being beamed up on a chariot. Okay, that is not telling you that the enemy is a so-called white man. That the devil in the Bible speaks of is a so-called white man. So they're giving you false vision of a future here in Great Babylon, America, but you're a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, but that doesn't make any sense because you're in captivity. You don't have no rights. You're being haunted. You're being killed, murdered. But because they're able to collect, the leaders of that organization, along with some of the other ones, are able to collect, some chump change, and travel around to different parts of the world, which they have to make sure they put it on film so that everybody can see that they're traveling. It's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. They are not benefiting you. And this is why constantly you get the apostles and the elder brothers and tell you, Jake, stop jumping from these doggone camps, man. From camp to camp, you're going to confuse yourself. You're going to confuse yourself. You don't want to have a lot of extra shit in your head, man. Okay? You don't have a lot of extra shit in your head. Trust me, you don't want that extra shit in your head. It's confusion. Those confusion demons are going to get you. Okay? They're going to confuse you at the time when you need true sense, or your spirit needs to be, okay, right during the time of trouble. It says, this is Ezekiel 34, verse 1. Now let's talk about the shepherds. Let's talk about the shepherds. Now, there's a lot of things that's going on in the world, of course. Obviously, you know, typical things here in Great Babylon, America. Those are going to be more of lessons of, you know, bring out during the week. Camp is really kind of more of a modified version, in-person version of the lessons that we bring out, minus all of the special effects and, you know, other things that, you know, typically I would have in my lesson. So my camps tend not to draw many people. A lot of people don't watch my camp. My numbers are really low, and that's okay. I've come to accept it. That's Ezekiel 34 and starting with verse 1. And it reads, and the word of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel, prophesy and say unto them, Thus said the Lord power unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? So, bottom line is, this is the reason why you can't have this. When you have the elders and the apostles teach, they're teaching brothers. It is expected that the brothers will learn enough, and you're taking notes for years. Why do you think I have this is a little palm tablet or whatever the case is like that, and then this is a book with notes. Okay, and I have lots of these with notes, and of course on my computer I have notes on my computers and you know, pages that I save. And you have those as reference. You know, when you're going to create a lesson, you're going to do camp or whatever, right? So that means if you have the elders and the teachers and the apostles, them teaching, and you're listening, that means you're listening to learn so that you at some point will become a teacher, not just a listener. You're becoming a teacher, so you go there to go bring forth fruits. You want to go there, you want to go labor. Okay? Some brothers labor in the camp with multiple guys, others labor by themselves or 2 or 3, whatever the case is like that. Whatever's going to work for your schedule or for your personality. All right? You go and you labor. So you're not just listening and then, okay, I know not to eat pig. I know not to commit adultery. I know today's a Sabbath, but I'm not telling anybody else. I know there's Jacob's trouble coming, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. I know the famine is coming, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. I know the true name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. It's all for me, me, me. This is what you have. You have certain shepherds out there that are like that. They're selfish. So you are useless. You are absolutely useless. That is a worldly way to operate. Okay? What does it say? You can't hide your knowledge or basically what you know, or hide a candle under a bushel. It's roughly paraphrasing. Basically, you need to stand up there and be that beam of light, that hope. These people driving by, they wish they could stand up out here boldly like this and put a picture up with these doggone wicked ass devil, okay, and prophesy against them and tell them that they're going to go into slavery. They wish they had the ability, they wish they could come up and stand up and show signs of the horrific things that this doggone man has committed against us. Okay, and where it is written in the scripture that this would happen and who he is. They don't have the guts and the balls to come out and show you the 12 tribe sign and show the fact that you are a part, okay, of a royal family, the greatest family ever. They don't. They hide in their cars, they drive with their windows screwed up with the air conditioning on, looking for the next meal. They don't sacrifice themselves. But then they think that they're men. They think that they're men. These women, they're so proud of the fact that they can roll over a doggone man, a man is bowing down to them. They can be all fat and nasty and stink and disgusting. They think they can have 6, 7 kids and still find a doggone sucker that's going to take care of her and them damn doggone bastards. Okay? So there's no need for them to change. There is nothing compelling Jake's them to change. There's nothing compelling them. They're not being slaughtered. They're not being slaughtered in the street, and that's why I want to go into that. That question in two parts. Because what you need to understand is this: the reason why there's no fear in you don't want Jake's right now is because you still have a law system in which if you're arrested right now or they come after you, they're going to take you, handcuff you, put you in the back of a squad car or in the back of a van, and they detain you and then maybe put you through the court system and then give you a sentence. Well, still the scripture shows the amount of people that are going to be just gunned down in the street, put to death in the street, bodies just laying down in the street rotting. This is where we're going into, okay? And Esau make a lot of video games and certain movies in regards to those and how this would actually look. You know, when they have those zombies and those people going crazy coming there trying to eat your flesh and shit, literally that's going to be for real, because you're going to have people who are going to be like cannibals. You are going to have people who are going to be deranged and crazy and delusion because they're starving or they're on some psychosis drugs or some shit. I mean, who knows? So zombies are real. Zombies are real. Those creatures are real. Okay? Except, obviously, they exaggerate it a little bit. But it's going to be real, because when you're hungry and you out of your mind like that, and you have no sense of where you're at or going, you're going to look like a zombie, man. You're like, oh, I'm looking for food. Oh, you know, and you might look at that down going, you might look at your own child and eat them. You might look at your partner. Okay? So this is, let's go to the book of Luke 12 and start verse 2. Because, again, you're going to ask the question, who are we to serve and who are we to fear? Are we to fear people? Are we to fear the people that are driving that might mock you? I think by now, people who are driving by here already know, or people driving past the Hebrew Israelite camps already know, we don't care. But it's never occurred to them that the prophets will be on the highway and the byway during the last days of the Bible, prophesying destruction of this place. And they still can't put two together and realize that their time, okay, is short. That you don't have that much time, okay, left. You people don't have that much time left, okay? But right now you haven't been given, okay, a reason. You haven't been given the motivation to seek Yahweh Shemi Ashai yet. And the Lord is taking it easy because the elect is still being sealed. Wait till the elect is sealed. Then you're going to get that motivation. Okay? This is Luke 12 and starting with verse 2. It reads, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that had not been known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the air in the closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. So basically, Yahweh is making it very clear. The worst that can happen to any of us is they kill you. When you die, we've died before. I remember when I died the last time? Nope, nor the time before that, nor the time before that. In fact, I can't even tell you when I fell asleep last night. I can give you the exact minute or second I fell asleep. I just fell asleep. So that just tells you when you die, you don't know you're dead. Okay, your spirit goes back to the inside out. So it doesn't make any difference. Now, probably let's be realistic here. You don't want to die a horrific death. And there's a lot of different kinds of deaths that we all fear dying. Okay? But what Yahweh is saying is, once they kill this body, that's all they can do. That's it. There's nothing else that they can do. But here's what he's telling you right here. This is where it gets, what you need to understand. It says, But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him that which after he had killed had power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him. So the Most High, Yahweh Shemai Shai, not only can he kill you, and he can use any means to kill you, but he can bring you back. He can bring you back as a baby in 9 months and let you go and relive hell. You might come up retarded, disfigured, or you might just come out normal and just go through just absolute hell. Jason got to sit down in prison for life, for a whole entire life of a crime they didn't commit. That is hell. Imagine, you're doing 40, 50 years for something you didn't do, just simply based on your skin color. That is hell. That is a judgment. That is a judgment. The Lord didn't even give them an opportunity that you will be out here in society long enough. He put them inside a cage. That is hell. That is hell. And they didn't even do anything to deserve it. Now, some of them, of course, you know, Lord Jakes did do things, but they're Jakes sitting down and they're serving hellish sentences for crimes that the so-called white man did. That's a judgment the Lord Yahweh Shemai put on that Jake. That's why you get to fear the Lord Yahweh Shemai Shai, because he can upset your life just like that in a second. He can turn you, one minute you down and out, ready to eat your own self. The next minute the Lord can flip that over and just scratching your head and going, what the hell? Scratching your head. Yahweh Shemai Shai can do that. Trust me on that. Believe me. I've experienced it. Okay? You can turn around and take your life, which is like in hell, and just turn it right like that. Turn it over like that. Or you can just turn your life, which is like that, too, in heaven, and just turn hell, just like that. You can do that to me. So we've been given a warning about who we should actually fear, which is Yahweh Shemai Shai. Let's go into Revelation 21, verse 7. Let's talk about the characteristic of people that the Lord Yahweh Shemai Shai despise. Because if you are in this ministry, if you know about who you are, and you don't desire to step out and speak against your enemy, I couldn't wait to get the hell out here. Of course, there's a certain way we have to do it going through the scriptures. And I never did a march in my life. I've never gone out there to go march. I didn't see the point of it. I thought it was a waste of time. I've never voted in my life. I didn't give a shit who was running the country. I didn't care. I actually didn't. I wasn't into none of that. But when I found out who this man really is, his real identity, I can't understand how you just, man, don't want to get out here and voice bold and speak against your devil and oppressor. Let him know of your displeasure and the displeasure of the Lord Yahweh Shemai Shai of his ways and how he treated us. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I'm going to read exactly why you wouldn't be that way. Because the Lord hates your type. And so do we. It's Revelation 21, starting verse 7. The book of Revelation 21, starting verse 7, it reads, He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. So if you overcome all the things on this earth, you know, that you're going to go through the tribulations and everything like that, the Lord is going to be your power. He's going to be your God. Okay? He's going to have to love you. But, it says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and adulterers and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is a second death. So there is a second death, a permanent, a second death. Okay, second death. So you don't want faggots, you don't want liars, you don't want no cowards, you don't want no bullshit artists, you don't want no doggone whoremongers. Okay, everything that Esau teaches you all to do, that they make so cool. Okay, because see, people look at people like Mike Tyson who should have been there, but you know he was bankrupt and they pumped him up, and now he's next making millions again. They gave him a weed farm, and even though he's close to 60 years old, they still have this man popped up. Okay. lost 8 fights. They still have him propped up using him. A guy like that should never be prospering right now. Under the condition of Great Babylon America, in all fairness, he should not be prospering. But yes, if he's prospering. Because this describes him. He's all of these things. Him. Okay? And many others. They're well loved in the world. They are well known. People shake their hands and give them a round of applause, and they're idolized, and people clap when they walk into a room. People hoot and holler. But people like us, the men of the Lord, they despise us. They hate us. Okay? Because we represent poverty. We represent what's not cool. We represent anti-Babylonian doctrine. We represent anti-American culture, which is sodomy and faggotry, murder, rape, okay, dishonesty, all those things. We represent an opposition of that. We are righteousness. So we are an abomination to these people. These people are an abomination to us. Okay? But, again, I brought it out. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is in control of all things. They might want to put hands on us, but they can't. And the reason why they can't is because the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is not allowing them to. So all they can do is just look and go, This is Psalms 10, verse 1. Let's go and let's identify Esau. Almost in the end. Let's identify Esau. So we go to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms 10, verse 1. Let's go through this whole thing and let's identify this man. It says, Why standest thou afar, O Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Which is the question that Jake always asks, is like, we're catching hell, where's the Lord? So the Lord was so great and so good, why isn't he saving us? Okay? Why isn't he showing himself? So they're asking this question. Okay, because again, you have Jays who don't want to take responsibility or accept the fact that because of our disobedience. So we, as hopefully that, we've accepted the fact that we were a piece of shit. Plain and simple. We were a piece of shit. We were wicked. We still wicked. We still wicked, man. We still wicked. We try, but we can't. We can't. I mean, Yahushua has to speak for us. We can't please Yahweh. We can't do it. We can't do it. The wicked in his pride don't persecute the poor. Let them be taken in their device that they imagine. They imagine all kinds of things, man. We've already been labeled as thieves, murderers, and all kinds of stuff. So that's already ingrained in everybody's head across the earth. Okay, despite the fact that they're not catching hell, now they expect mercy to be shown. It's a shame when you damn Hebrew Israelite preachers out there that are trying to embrace the rest of these tribes that wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. Huh? It says, for the wicked will sit on the side of Zion, blessed the covetous of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Lord. The wicked, through his pride of his confidence, will not seek after powers on the stars. Hey, you got it all. You got the cars, you got your face on everything, your logos on everything. You know, everybody's worshiping you. Why would you let the world know there's a higher power? Huh? That's why they created the image of Yahweh Shema Shai and all the angels and the angels and the Lord of hosts. So everybody looks like the doggone rulers of this earth. Okay? Except they make them all family and gay. His ways are always grievous, and judgments are far out of the sight as for his enemies puffing at them. And he's all like that, what can we do? And like the elder brothers has been bringing out, look. And I always use this analogy. You take an A-class Edomite fighter and put him against a C-class Sheikh fighter, he'll probably win. And then they'll beat their chest and go, oh, I just dunked on that nigga, off. You take an A-class Edomite fighter and put him against an A-class Sheikh fighter, he gets smoked. He look like he's an amateur. Okay? Looks horrible. It's not even. Okay? It's not even. So the Lord Yahweh Shemashah had to put us in a lower state. We don't have a standing military force. We don't have nothing to go up against this man and give this man overwhelming power in the form of weaponry or the sword. Because physically, they don't stand a chance. Okay? They don't stand a chance. And there's not enough A-class Edomite fighters to go against A-class or B-class Jakes. There's just not enough. He has said in the sign, I should not be moved, I shall never be in adversity, which you are. His mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud on his tongue. It's mischief and vanity. Okay, so they always have something now. I think since Trump has been in the White House this year alone, how many executive orders he's written? Okay, they're thinking about every doggone possible thing right now, and what you doggone Babylonians are starting to experience right now is that you will not have that freedom of speech real soon. What you can say, we're seeing people now getting fired. We're talking about who? Charlie Brown. We're talking about Charlie Brown. They're getting fired. They're losing their job. It's like 2020 all over again, where with the C-19, you have prominent doctors from doggone these prestigious universities saying, look, we need to check a little bit more into this before we put this out to the public. They lost their license and they denied it. Seated in the lurking places of the villages and the secret places where the murder innocent desires is perfect set against the poor, which we are the poor. Okay? We're the poor. We don't control any media. After I'm done reporting this, guess what? This has to be uploaded onto their platform, and they can choose to take it down if they want to. See how that works? There's nothing I can do about it. They own the internet. Even if you have your own service, your own website, they could turn around and you need a domain. There has to be a domain host. So you would have to really have the original OEM of everything in order to be completely independent, and even that you don't have because we don't own the internet. All right? We don't have the ability to do that. We don't have satellites. It says, he lied in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lied in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws them in his net. Jakes in the world are going to be caught, are going to be caught easily in the net. So when you have the MOTB come out like that, they're going to present it in such a way. It's not going to look as biblical or like Jake them is not going to look at it from a spiritual perspective and the consequences of taking it. That you're going to develop burrows that you're not going to necessarily eat because you took that. That once you have that in your body, this man now has complete and utter control of your life. Plain and simple. And what does he want for Jacob? Yeah. So why in the hell would you give him the ability to sign debt to you when at his rent? When all this man thinks about is putting you down. It says, approach it and humble himself, that the poor may fall by the strong ones with sweet talk, which we laugh at. I don't listen to sweet talk. Like, listen to this low-level, demonic piece of shit. Sickening, man. Sickening, absolutely sickening. Okay? We're not listening to him. It says he has set aside power and forgotten. He hided his face, he would never see it. Yes, he does. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, lift up thy hand, forget not the trouble, the humble, which we always beg in Yahweh Shemashai. You know, don't forget about us. Okay? Humble this man. Bring this man down. We are your humble slaves, or humble servants. It's like you. Humble servants. Defend us against this well-known man. We can't defend ourselves against him. We can't. Alright? Wherefore does the wicked contempt power he has set aside, thou wilt not require it. Thou hast seen it, for behold, of mischief and spite, to request it with the hand. The poor commit himself unto thee, thou the helper of the fatherless. So Esau does not have to fail Yahweh Shemashai the way he should. Now, I'm quite sure they probably can see deep space and they probably see chariots out there. Or they see something out there. They see something out there that we ain't see. We can't see with our naked eye yet. okay, which we are going to see. But when Yahushua returns, it's not going to be secret. It's actually going to be, the whole world is going to see. Esau is not going to be able to deny, and then the whole world is going to look and go, okay, what are you going to do? Because it's going to be real, the real independent state type scenario. What are you going to do, Esau? What are you going to do? Yeah, and on a grand scale, the Mashiach is going to be a million. Let's close with the book of Jeremiah 1. Okay? Because when you think about the ministry, you know, what has to be brought out, there's so many facets. It's not just dimensional, it's multi-dimensional, because you have to look at the headlines. What has happened in the past, what is currently happening, what is going to happen in the future. Okay, and go line by line, precept by precept with it. Okay, you can use your own experience, but particularly you can look, and our thing is that we are watching the time as it is right now. So this is the reason why you have to constantly bring out newer lessons, because the lessons have to be fresh. Certain things that you brought out maybe a year ago, well, things have changed. Because guess what? You don't think the devil, these doggone devils are watching us. You don't think that they're looking at adjusting their strategy. They're trying to adjust their strategy. So then we adjust our lessons. Okay, let's close over the book of Jeremiah 51, Psalm verse 24, and it reads, well, okay, let's start with verse 22. Because if you want to understand who the men of the Lord really are, especially for you women that look at us as nothing, which is fine. We don't care, all right? And many of us actually have a woman that adores us. So you're wasting your time anyways. And we don't really, whether you like me or not, I don't give a shit. I have a woman, all right? I don't give a crap, all right? Seriously. This is verse 22, it reads, with thee also will I break to pieces man and woman. And with thee, no, let's start with verse 20. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces chariot and his rider. See, this is us. All right? With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces young man and the maid. You see here, the Lord does not discriminate in how he bring judgment on you. Nobody's exempt, okay? Unless you are exempt, unless you are made exempt, okay? The Lord doesn't give a crap on no damn baby and all that stuff and all this other shit, okay? It's just spirits in the devil little body. It says, and I will render unto Babylon. Slack here, it says, I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd of his flock. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. So see, you should be concerned about that, Esau. You are looking at spiritual warriors right now in this flesh, in a humble state, that is going to bring you down hardcore. Okay? Rule over you with a rod of iron. You're not going to like it. It says, behold, I'm against you, destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from rocks, and will make thee a burnt monument. Okay? So the Lord is going to destroy your doggone wicked-ass kingdom. Okay? The judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai on Esau is going to be such a significant, brutal sight. And the devastation and the destruction is going to be so horrific that, you know, even in those, we're going to be looking at it from the chariot and just going, wow, of just how brutal it's going to be. Imagine Great Babylon America destroyed in such a way that it looks like a lake of fire. It looks like a lake of fire. It's destroyed in such a way. But then why would you people want to actually understand that? Why would you people want to believe that this wicked little doggone kingdom known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, okay, filled with doggone fire, get feminine men, Okay, little sissy men. Sissy men that can't stand up on their 2 feet. Yeah, that's right. Sissy men. Okay. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to preserve this for what? It's not going to preserve. This place is going to die. Let's go to the east. Let's give all glory and honor to Yahweh Shema Shai Shema Kakadash. Shalom to the elect.